Yep.
And so if you were to send a message out there to any person, no matter what age, but they've been struggling with their weight and health, what would be your advice to them?
Well, that struggles with weight and health and things like that they're multifaceted. Like there wasn't I wasn't fat by accident. Like, I mean, like I had, a lot of, I always use this comment, like, I ate my feelings. I mean, that's common. Like when you talk about safety, or I need to feel safe. And how do you do that? You create this envelope around you. So and it's not an easy thing. Like there's people that have eating challenges both on sides, like people eat too much and people don't eat enough, like that
Yeah.
anorexic body image thing. And so, the thing I would say for anybody there is to not downplay your, to me, it's two pieces. One of which is to get help. And that doesn't have to be like a therapist, but like to find, and I don't mean just walk into a gym and start pumping iron. Like there's got to be this catalyst. You have to make a decision on like what your why. Like, I mean, Simon Sinek talks about this, but one of my friends, who is just an unbelievable like athlete, and with his mind, he's like, your why has to be bigger than your excuses. And
Yeah.
when that switches, that's the moment stuff starts changing. And so if you've been struggling with weight, you might have like a regulatory problem or a thyroid challenge, or you might, again, might have emotional things. Like those are things that should get evaluated and solved. But there's also like people are lazy, or it's a matter of convenience, or it's a matter
Right.
of, like, I never walked into a gym till I was 19 years old. Like I had no idea what I was doing, and it's freaky when you're walking in there with guys that are pumping 400 pounds on a bench press. You're like,
Right.
like it's intimidating.
Right.
So like there's a confidence issue. So like my point is though, is on the other side of that, there's a lot of life to live. Like the life that you are in doesn't have to be solely this one thing. Like the equivalent I always make is like, just because you went to college to be like, I don't know, an economics major, doesn't mean you have to be an economics person for your entire life. You can change your
Right.
career. You can do something different. Like there's choices to be made, and and once you make the choice, there's a decision on the other side of it. So if you go, hey man, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, great. Now, like, why? Why are you sick and tired? Like, you got to have this resolve, because trust me, it's going to get tested when you're like throwing up because you haven't worked out ever, or you have a headache, or you're not sleeping good, or whatever. Your body goes through these changes. You're going to need this justification. So, that's not to scare anybody away, but like, you know, I'm also think people are unaware of how strong they are. People are strong. Like human
Yeah.
beings have been on this planet for a long time. We've evolved. We've been successful. Like we figured out how to do crazy shit, like land freaking helicopters on Mars, like make babies. Like we've been doing crazy stuff for a long time. People are capable of a lot more than they give themselves credit for. And sometimes all you
Right.
have to do is try. And it gets, by the way, fail fast, fail a lot, and then find that one thing that's like, oh, I found out how to be successful at this thing. Let me do that again. And then that success begets more success, which begets confidence, which is your point. And then I think you find going, all right, I have some momentum now. Well, the
Yeah.
momentum makes it a whole lot easier to keep going. So anyway, those are like
Yeah.
my personal pieces, but I also don't want to underplay actual health issues and things like that. I mean, I think a lot of that can be solved, but I have friends of mine on both sides, people that have had body image issues where they're too thin, body image issues where they're too big, and all in between. So
Right.
it's not as simple as just like eat better, get to the gym, you stupid. Like that doesn't work. You have to like be mindful.
Now, but there are some pillars, I would say, that are sort of like this is unnegotiable:
Sure.
eating healthy, resting, doing some sort of exercise that allows that your body can actually put up with, where you're not going to break yourself in half.
Yep.
Because there's levels to it. Obviously, you weren't doing the same
Oh
type
yeah.
of workouts that you were doing 10 years ago.
No, absolutely not.
And so, but I know it brings up a good point, which is I personally think this is one of the main reasons why we have as many people that are in unhealthy lifestyle than we had before, which is what people would call essentially the snowflake generation. You might have heard of this term, might maybe not, but my generation has often been described as the snowflake generation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and by people who are my parents' generation and so forth. But in a way, I can't even disagree because what I've seen with my own eyes, and I do think it comes to the point where what you said and also what my dad said, which is this is going to be a decision you have to make for yourself. This isn't easy, but it's worth it. The problem that I see now is people making it seem like it's going to be a walk in the park or it's no big deal,
Yeah.
and sort of taking the magnitude from it. Even though, I mean, talking about the magnitude shouldn't scare people away. And that's what I think is happening where the marketing kicks in, where people don't want to talk about the struggles. They only want to talk about the pros of doing this. You're gonna get the six pack. The girls are gonna love you. You're gonna be able to do all this cool stuff. But the bottom line is that I think we should be talking more about how hard it's gonna be, and that this is what you should expect.
All right, thanks for watching this clip from Appropriate Culture. If you want to watch the full episode, go ahead and check out us at appropriateculture.com. You can also check us out on social media platforms at Appropriate Culture. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.